This edition of Breaking the News is a slightly extended version of the one that was originally broadcast on the radio over the weekend, as we have found a couple of bonus clips from their social media. So for the first time this year, here is the extended show.
It's Breaking the News with Des Clark.
Des Clark, and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. We are back for another series, and once again there's no shortage of things to talk about. But thankfully, to help us make sense of it all, I'm joined by four of the finest comedians in the country. On my right we have Jay Lafferty and Connor Burns, and up against them are Glenn Moore and Susan Riddle. In the news this week, before even learning to drive a car, a teenager from Aberdeenshire has gained his pilot licence. He said the biggest challenge will be convincing pubs to accept it as ID. Greggs fans have been rejoicing as the Glasgow airport shop is set to reopen. The branch has been closed for 13 years, meaning the last tray of steak bakes out of the oven are now finally cool enough to eat. And star of the scrapped Batgirl movie, Leslie Grace, has said the production faced obstacles whilst filming in Glasgow. For example, in The Dark Knight, the Batmobile was destroyed by a rocket launcher, whereas in Batgirl, it was destroyed by a well-placed pothole in Bath Street. Right, you've met the panel. Let's crack on with round one! Now, ordinarily in round one, we'd ask our teams to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. But there's only really one story in town this week. So, Jay and Connor, can you tell me what this is all about?
Who the leader is that takes Scotland to independence is less important than that Scotland completes its
But do you feel that
journey
it
to
will still be you?
independence. Yes, I do.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Stop, Rod. Nicola Sturgeon is resigning.
So we are talking about Nicola Sturgeon's shock resignation yesterday morning.
It is the shock news that Nicola Sturgeon's tenure is over as First Minister of Scotland. She lasted over 8 years, making her Scotland's longest ever serving First Minister, which in this climate is hard to imagine, given the average British Prime Minister has the life expectancy of an iPhone battery. Jay, what do you make about this then? What do you think about the decision of Nicola Sturgeon to stand down?
I mean, I think it's come as a shock to us all. You know, it's a shock. We're not used to political leaders making a dignified exit. Certainly not leaders that we actually voted for making a dignified exit. That's a novelty these days. You know, what I thought was astonishing is there was so many of our political opponents claiming this as some kind of victory. And I won't give any names because that'd be pointless because nobody knows who they are.
Connor, what do you make of the big news this week, Nicola Sturgeon's decision to stand down?
I think she served as well. She even said in her speech, resignation speech, she said that serving Scotland has been a privilege beyond measure, which I thought was funny because that's what the Tories look for in a Prime Minister. She said that she'd wrestled with the decision of whether to stand down or not, but she said she asked herself the question, should I continue? And she was about 45% yes, 55% no.
Susan, what did you make of Nicola Sturgeon, the big news this week? She's decided to stand down.
I mean, it's quite... see, between this and Lilt, I'm all 6s and 7s. But I understand, like, why she wanted to stand down, like, literally, because her feet must have been killing her, honestly. Like, she's always got heels on. I think if she'd have wore trainers, like, we'd have got a couple more years at her.
Glenn, what do you make of this? As a bit of an outsider, what's your take on the decision of Nicola Sturgeon to stand down?
I think it's a good time for a politician to go. You know, she hasn't lost an election. She's not resigning in disgrace. She hasn't been plagued by a scandal for months and months and months. So, as an Englishman, what's it like? Please
Yeah.
tell me. But I think ultimately, the way she described it was that she said it's a brutal job, and I think sometimes it can be years into a job that you realise a job isn't necessarily for you. Like my dad used to work as a crime scene photographer, and he realised people didn't like it when he'd say, "All right, let's do a silly one." And you've got to know when to step down, you know.
Very good. What do you think happens next, Connor? What do you think the fallout of this big announcement is?
Well, I mean, she's a Scottish woman in her 50s, so she's going to be falling out with absolutely everybody. Scottish women in their 50s do not forget, and they do not forgive.
I just think it's going to be dead boring. Do you know what I mean? Because Nicola, she had a wee bit of pizzazz, didn't she? She had a wee glint in her eye. But I was reading a quote for Joanna Cherry, the MP, and she says, "Our party needs a leadership election that is about policies and not personalities." And I was like, well, good, because none of yous have got one.
Glenn, what do you think then? Generally, just having a look at this, what's the fallout going to be?
Massive, because I think a lot of people didn't want her to go, and I think in terms of Scottish politics, this is the most disappointing thing that's happened since William Wallace was cancelled for doing Blueface. He was so cancelled, the only person they could find to play him was Mel Gibson.
What do you think Nicola will do next?
Wee spa weekend. Some wine. A cigarette, watching Happy Valley on catch up. Give Alan Cumming a phone, see if he fancies a night out. Right. I mean, actually, can you imagine that? You imagine Nicola Sturgeon's leaving do? That is going to be a belter night out, isn't it? Just like, I hope she gets drunk and starts giving everybody the measure of themselves. Do you know, just like walking right up to Ruth Davidson and going, "Do you know what? I pure love you, hen."
What do you think, Connor, Nicola Sturgeon will do next?
I actually think she kind of teased us with her next career move because she wore that red suit for her resignation. She's actually doing the spring-summer season at Butlins. She's going to run the kids' club. It's going to be great.
Just minding the flumes. If you could choose anybody to succeed Nicola Sturgeon as First Minister, who would it be and why? Jay.
I thought long and hard about this, and I think Happy Valley's Catherine Kaywood. And I know she's not Scottish, but she's got proper Scottish mammy vibes, right? She's no nonsense. She loves a swear. She's got a nice line in Aran sweaters, and she's really good at dealing with angry little men who would rather burn it all to the ground than face the accountability of their own actions.
Sound thinking behind that, Jay. A great suggestion. So here's the thing, Connor, you're the man to sort this, I think. If you could choose anybody to succeed Nicola Sturgeon as First Minister, who would it be and why?
I think who else would be better than WWE Hall of Fame legend Rowdy Roddy Piper? Right now, go with me on this. He's Scottish.
Yeah.
He's intimidating. And who wouldn't want to see the episode of Question Time where he puts Dominic Raab in a sleeper hold? Come on.
Isn't Rowdy Piper dead?
He is, and that's a...
Honestly, it's pessimism like that, Jay, that is... why Scottish politics is lagging behind, honestly.
Why let details get in the way? Oh, dear. Listen, we're sorting this whole thing out. I'm so glad we've had this conversation. So, Rowdy Roddy Piper, the now deceased wrestling superstar.
It sounds daft when you say it like that. But...
I know. Thank you very much to our panel for that. Of course, reflecting on the big news this week, this year, possibly for many years in Scottish politics. And it is Nicola Sturgeon stepping down as First Minister. She has resigned and will now be returning herself to the SNP in the hope of getting her deposit back. It has been announced that a new leader will be chosen in due course. We'll know that when we see tartan smoke rising from the chimney at Bute House. And there we go. The resignation of Nicola Sturgeon is the correct answer. And to both teams, well done. It's 2 points apiece. Now, much of our news is about public opinion, so to find out what stories people are talking about this week, we've spoken to journalist and former BBC Newsround presenter Martin Dugan and ex-Scotland international footballer Gemma Fay. So, Glenn and Susan, what story do you think Martin is talking about here?
This is a funny one, this story. It's not like anything else that we've heard before. It's literally blown me away. It's like something out of a movie. There'll be loads of theorists and conspiracies going around and keyboard warriors giving a little input into what's going on, but also tad wee bit scary.
This was the enormous Chinese surveillance balloon that was shot down over America.
Yes, it's the somewhat surreal news that American fighter jets have shot down 4 high-altitude objects, including a suspected Chinese spy balloon. Speculation about the object's origins have been so rife that the White House press secretary has reassured the US population that there is no evidence of alien involvement. I wish I was making this up. These aren't the jokes. This is the news. The Chinese government maintain they are simply weather monitoring, which makes sense. Of course, I don't know about you, but I daren't go out without a cagoule if I don't know what the weather's going to be like 40,000 feet over Montana. So, Glenn, you got it right. How concerned are you about these spy balloons?
The thing that struck me was the size. I didn't realise just how big they were, and the news kept describing them as the height of 3 double-decker buses, which I always love because the news only ever describes stuff in the context of double-decker buses when it's massive. You never get sort of like the suspect is described as in his 50s, clean-shaven, and the height of about a quarter of a double-decker bus.
What do you think, Susan? Are you scared? Are you in terror? Are you concerned about the spy balloons?
I want one. So I did. Because, like, cyber stalking my ex isn't scratching the itch anymore, do you know what I mean? It's funny, like, getting a big balloon. Like, it's not very discreet, though. I'd be going past his window and he'd be sitting with his new bird, like, oh my God, there's Susan out there in a balloon again. Don't make eye contact. I'm like, it's not a spy balloon, it's a weather monitoring device, all right?
But as we mentioned there just a moment ago, the White House have had to deny any element of extraterrestrial involvement. Are we too quick to rule this out?
Yeah, I think we should welcome the aliens because it's been a while since I've had a probing in. Beggars can't be choosers.
Connor, I'll come to you in this one. Do you think we're too quick to rule out extraterrestrials?
Well, we can definitely rule out extraterrestrials because it's been confirmed. The balloons were supposed to be attached to Sam Smith at the Brits. We know that now.
It's all been explained, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Jay, it might seem a silly question, but it's one that's been circling quite a lot this week. Obviously, the White House have had to come out and say there's no extraterrestrials involved. But are we too quick to rule out extraterrestrials?
You know me, Des. I'm a natural cynic, but a childhood in Greenock will convince you of extraterrestrial life. When E.T. came out, we just thought that my Uncle Jerry had got a job in acting. That's... It's like... There's Jerry! Phone home!
Phone home, Jerry. Well, there you go. I'm glad we sorted that. Obviously, the spy balloons we hear may well be used for surveillance, but what would a spy balloon find out about you?
Oh, God. Even my girlfriend doesn't know this, but I... So we've got a 16-month-old. She knows about that, but she knows. What she doesn't know is that, and she's never seen me do this, but whenever I change his nappy, I find it really entertaining to talk to him like I'm a paramedic. So, Mr. Moore, my name's Glenn. You've wet yourself. We're going to cut you out of your nappy, OK?
Thank you so much to all of our panellists there. Authorities in America were initially reluctant to shoot down the Chinese spy balloon, probably because it was white. The suspected spy balloon and other mysterious aerial objects being shot down over America is the right answer. 2 points go to Glenn and Susan. Right, it's to you now. Jay and Connor, what do you think Gemma is talking about here?
I have fond memories of trying to enter my eldest brother's room and not being able to because the entire floor was covered in what he called his glass bank account. And I watched at the end of the month when he would take his deposits and come back triumphantly, pockets jangling full of 20p's.
As Scotland are launching the deposit scheme to incentivise you to recycle bottles.
Yeah, right answer, well done. That is correct. There have been assurances this week that Scotland's controversial bottle return scheme will go ahead in August, despite concerns and criticism about it from businesses. Jay, what do you think about this then, the bottle return scheme? It's had its critics. Do you think it sounds like a good scheme to you?
Oh, I'm excited. It's retro, innit? We're bringing the 80s back. Like, Connor has no clue about this. He's too young to remember, do you know, like, going down when your dad would be like, take the gingy bottles down and you can get yourself a treat. And you were just, it was like manual child labour, dragging all the gingy bottles down so you could get a Mars bar, right? Which were only like 40p back in the day.
Every time Jay tells a story from her childhood, it sounds like a Catherine Cookson book.
What do you think about this then, Susan? There's been a lot of chat around it. Some saying it is a bit controversial. The bottle return scheme, is that a good scheme to you, Susan?
I think it sounds like a good scheme. I can't wait till it makes it to England so I can go into an English newsagents with a bottle of Iron Brew, just slam it down the counter. I think you'll find this is legal tender.
Glenn, what do you think about this? Do you think it sounds like a good idea to you?
I think it's a good idea, but I don't think it should be a case of everyone gets 20p. I think most people shouldn't get anything, and one person gets billions and billions of pounds. They just get sent straight onto the top of the Forbes rich list. All because of those bottles. I think you need to add the gambling element to make people more invested in it. Because if you know how much you're going to get, it's not as exciting. Like, I feel, for instance, that Cash Points should have a double or nothing function.
We're laughing. There's a few going, what a brilliant idea. I'd be right in there.
I'm all for coming up with new ways to be more environmentally friendly. The one I can't get on board with is the paper bags. I find it disgusting and fundamentally un-Scottish because we've not got paper bag weather. Do you know what I mean? Like, I came out of Primark the other day. Things aren't going that well for me, and I've got a 5-minute bag and a 7-minute walk to my car. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't add up.
Glenn, what about you? Any thoughts of what else we could do to help encourage people to recycle more?
I think try to convince people not to buy the dangerous plastic stuff in the first place and just try and dissuade them from it. I was in a shop a couple of weeks ago and bought my stuff and they said, do you want a bag? And it was very easy to just sort of go, no, I don't need a bag. And, you know, the goldfish died immediately. But...
And there we go. Concerns around Scotland's bottle deposit scheme is the right answer. 2 points go to Jay and Connor. You're tuned to Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who is in the news. So I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. Jay and Connor, you're up first this time. Who is this?
When you need to find that extra yard, that extra bit of oxygen, then look around about you. Look to your brothers. Look to your family. Let's look to the next round.
I think this is Mick Kennedy. I mean, there is your next First Minister. There he is. If he was in charge of the SNP, we'd be running England by now.
Well done, Jay. That's the right answer. Yeah, of course, the voice belonged to Darvel manager Mick Kennedy, whose inspirational team talks have gone viral during his team's incredible Scottish Cup run that came to an end this week. Before the Cup run, the most famous person from Darvel was Sir Alexander Fleming, who led them to a tricky away win at Partick Thistle. Connor, what do you think about this? I don't know if you kept up with it. The ultimate underdog story, Darvel, their journey in the Scottish Cup, their manager, Mick Kennedy, with all these inspirational speeches. What have you made of them?
He referred to a lot of body parts in his speech. Like, he kept saying, like, it's in our hands. Feel that on your shoulders. That is the arms of greatness. He's like, the future's at our feet. I thought it'd be good if he finished it by just going, and that's what it's all about.
Susan, what do you think then? Mick Kennedy, Darvel manager, has gone viral for his speeches. What do you make of them?
I thought it was a bit much myself. And I factually inaccurate as well, because he said the average man lives till he's 77. I was like, no, where I'm fae.
It was said to be inspirational. Jay, were you inspired by Darvel's cup run?
I mean, it is a brilliant story of the little guy making good and competing amongst the big boys. I mean, Connor, you know what that's like.
Glenn, what about you? Has their cup run inspired you?
It was very inspiring, but it had to end there because, for Mick Kennedy's sake, he couldn't give inspirational speech after inspirational speech because you start to run out of things to say and you can't keep telling the players to give it all every week, and you sort of run out of ways to sort of shake the speech up in the same way that, like, if Winston Churchill had to do like a second D-Day and he'd have had to have tried to think of new locations and been like, we will fight them in the Boulangerie.
Susan, what is the most inspirational thing that someone has said to you?
I don't think we should be inspiring everybody, right? We're bandying around too much inspirational quotes. And we've got to be careful who we inspire, right? Like, I read one that said, do whatever makes your heart sore. And I thought, well, cocaine makes your heart sore. What if someone struggling with addiction reads that and gets inspired?
Darvel's owner, John Gall, is an award-winning pie maker. The filling inside a Scottish football pie is, in fact, similar to the average crowd at the game. It's full of ball bags with a bit of lip. Yes, well done. 2 points to Jay and Connor. That was inspirational Darvel manager Mick Kennedy. Right, it's to you now, Glenn and Susan. It's your turn. Who is this and why are they in the news?
I want to inspire the world, especially little girls, and teach them that, you know, skateboarding is for everyone. I mean, if you believe in yourself, you can do anything.
That was that wee lassie that skateboards. I can't mind her name.
It's the right answer. Thank you.
It's Sky Brown, isn't it?
Yeah, well
Sky Brown is her name and also the weather forecast for Inverness.
That is the right answer. Of course, it is Sky Brown, who has become Britain's first world skateboarding champion at the age of 14. Glenn, what do you make of Sky's achievements?
I'm really inspired by it because if she's 14, that means she's only been skateboarding for like 8 years, which means it's not too late. I've worked out if I go skateboarding for just 1 hour every day, then in 8 years' time, I'll be single.
Jay, what do you think about this? Do you think skateboarding is a sport?
Yeah, of course it's a sport. If golf is a sport, then skateboarding is a sport. Right? I've done gigs in golf clubs. Athletes, they are not. I mean, some of them should have thought twice about leaving the house, never mind tramping across a field.
What would you have won an award or medal for at the age of 14? Susan?
Oh, right, okay. I spent a lot of my formative years learning how to do this thing, but I don't know the name of it is. And I'm going to try and do it now, but I might not be able to do it, right?
What a build-up this is.
Don't know if MD's heard MD doing this. Hold on.
I can see why it doesn't have a name.
I can't do it.
What are you trying to achieve with this?
I don't know what it's called. I can't be the only person here that knows about this. Thanks.
Someone else that...
Can you do it? Can you demonstrate?
If anybody wants to volunteer to do...
Yes!
Oh my God!
Wow. Can I just say, we have microphones around the room. We'll all be silent. Can you just do that for us?
Can I just ask, are you single?
You're the only other person we found that can do Susan Riddle's mating call. Wow. Connor, what are you thinking about this then? We're talking about Sky Brown, a high achiever, world champion at the age of 14. What would you have won an award or medal for, Connor, at 14?
When I was 13, I did win a medal. My school rugby team got taken to this big competition, and it was like all the schools, and we came fourth, right, out of like 24 schools, and we were quite happy with that. But they had a guy handing out the medals who was an ex-Springbok captain, so South African team captain. And bear in mind, we're 13. As he puts the medals on us for fourth place, he just went, "In my country, we do not celebrate mediocrity."
But you felt really inspired after that. And congratulations, there you go. Skateboarding prodigy Sky Brown is indeed the right answer. And 2 points go to Glenn and Susan. And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. So I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this. To wet my whistle. That is Martin. That is Martin Geisler trying to do a thing where he puts his 2 hands and blows to make the mating call noise that we're all so desiring of. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Here we go. What only takes 14 seconds? Connor.
Is it getting a fortnight shopping scanned in Aldi?
What only takes 14 seconds? Susan.
My ex.
What only takes 14 seconds? Glenn.
Getting run over by a milk float.
I can put you out of your misery and say, what only takes 14 seconds? Well, it only takes 14 seconds for a song to lift your mood. To wet my whistle. Oh, there we go. That's it. That's the klaxon. Martin is Geisler, meaning it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are G. Lafferty and Connor Barnes. And commiserations to Glenn Moore and Susan Riddle. And we'll leave you with the breaking news. Breaking news, just in. A man who stole 200,000 Cadbury cream eggs has been convicted in court. The thief was named Joby Pool. Which coincidentally is also what you'll produce if you eat 200,000 Cadbury's cream eggs. After a decade, Barney the Purple Dinosaur is making a comeback. It's a bold step for kids' TV, but surely a low point for the Jurassic Park franchise. And in an effort to reduce carbon footprints, Waitrose shoppers will soon be drinking wine from aluminium cans instead of glass bottles. An early test run suggests customers seemed happy with the change, as one told staff, "You're my best pal, so yeah." The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye!